Question 29. Describe fully a single transformation that maps F1 onto F2. This is transformations. Let me just take you first to the textbook, and I'm going to take you to 29. So let's just see that page. This is rotation, because that's what I see there, rotation. I didn't even show you enlargement, so let's just see. Let's make it a bit smaller. Okay, this is on page 602 in part 2, the mathematics grade 10, 11, y equals mx+c plus c textbook. Okay, describe the rotation of a plane figure. Now, if I look at this one, describe the single transformation that maps figure A onto figure B. So A onto B. Now, usually, although I see they take the long road also, but we take the shortest path. So if I A to B, now what I usually tell students is to take a piece of paper, just copy that, and then just, even if you take from the last pages, which is clean, and just take a little bit there, or loosen it and fasten it again at the end. Okay, so you copy the figure, you copy the center, and you're copying an arrow that's facing north, and then you rotate it until this one fits onto this one. Now, remember, rotation is like this. It's not supposed. Clockwise is negative rotation, and anti-clockwise is positive. So a clock goes like this, and that is negative rotation, and that is positive. Okay, and that's just the way it is. Okay. So if I describe it as I must say three things. I must say rotation, 90-degree anti-clockwise, 90 anti-clockwise, okay, or positive 90, but you can say anti-clockwise. And then where did you put your pen or pencil to rotate that paper? At the origin, 0, 0. Now, can I just tell you this one, B? If the two figures connect, do you see and I'm going to make a red dot there. Do you see they connect there? Now, usually if figures connect, there, that point where they connect, that's the center of rotation. Just keep, it's very important to write the free facts. I didn't say it here. Oh, if two figures connect, the connection point will be the point of rotation. Very important. Okay, so A to B, that looks like clockwise, 90 degrees. Okay, 90 degrees clockwise, or negative 90. Rotation, so 3 marks. Remember, 1 for rotation, 1 for 90-degree clockwise, and then that center is negative 1 and 1. Okay, let's go back to the question paper and do that one. Remember, always 3 marks. Now, if you see, do you see that figures, and that was nice, they connect there. That will be the center. Now, F1, it's like this. You can see it's 90 degrees, but start by saying rotation. You will get 1 mark for that. Then 90-degree clockwise. That's all right. You can write it like that. Doesn't matter. Then you don't make sign mistakes. If somebody say, then they must say 90, negative 90 degrees. Okay. And then center. And what is the center? 3, 4. So you will get 1 mark for rotation, 1 for the degrees clockwise, and 1 for the center. And now they say enlarge n by scale factor 3. Now I'm just going to do it. I'm not going to take you the textbook. I'm just going to show it to you by doing it with vectors. So the thing is, you need points. Okay, now I'm just going to use another color. You need points to help you. So I'm going to use that points. Now I'm going to do it with vectors. So what I'm going to do, you can even name it just to help yourself. A, B, C, D. Seems to me this color didn't come out so nice. It's just red works so nice. That's why I work with red. Okay, so it's A, B, C, D. Okay, now let's start with A. Let's write the vector from here. So if it's, then it's 3, 1. First horizontal, it's like a T, and then vertical. Okay, let's go to B. What will that be? 3, 2. Let's go to C. What will that be? 4, 2. Let's go to D. What will that be? For C is 4, 2, D is 4, 1. Now, if this scale factor is 3, I'm going to multiply it with 3. Okay, my D is not going to work. Sorry. Okay, so I'm just going to move the D and I'm going to say 3. Okay, so I could have just rewrite it. I was just now lazy. So 3 times 3 is 9, 3. 9, 6. 12, 6. 12, 3. So basically, I'm going to make, so this will be the point, let's make it, this is A dash, this is B dash, C dash, D dash. Okay, so let's start from the origin. So I'm going 9 and I'm going 3. Now I'm just struggling a little bit with my sketch here. I'm going to see if I can make it bigger to help me a little bit. So 9, 3. Because of the lines, that's very dark. Okay, 9, 9, 9, 9, 3. Looks like there. Okay, so this is A dash. The next one, 9, 6. Okay, so this is 9 and then 6. I think 6 will be a bit better. You can see that one better. Okay, so B dash. And then the next one, 12, 6. 12, 6. Okay, so it's 12, 6. It's that one. Oh, sorry. 12, 6. And that's C dash. And the next one is 12, 3. 12, 3. And that is D. And then you can take a ruler. It's going to be better with the ruler. And I'm just going to keep to red so that you can see it. And because now you're just going to go with the, okay, and then it's to this point. Sometimes just struggling a little bit here. Okay, but it's nice. And then it's to this point. Okay, and there my N is enlarged with a scale factor of 3. Not so difficult. You can again go to the textbook and there at chapter 6, chapter 11. I just want to quickly control. I think it's chapter 11, 29. I'll just show you. You can look, there's the different rotation, enlargement, chapter 11. Matrices, vectors, and transformations. Okay, let's go to the next one. Before I start with question 30, I just want to go back and just tell you where you will get marks in this question. I didn't indicate to you number B. So they say the correct enlargement, if they check if all your vertices are correct. But they would have gave you, then you will get 2 marks. But they would have gave you 1 mark if you did an enlargement with a scale factor of 3, but you used the incorrect center. Then they would have gave you 1 mark. Okay, but let's go to question 30. A solid glass shape is formed from a hemisphere. Remember a hemisphere, and you can see it from the picture, is a half sphere and a cylinder. The hemisphere has a radius of 3 and the cylinder has a height, and they show you nicely everything on the picture. Otherwise, draw a picture. Now, calculate the total volume of the glass shape. Now, just remember, and I will take you again first to the textbook. So in the textbook, I will take you to page, and let's see. I'm just taking you to this. I think this will work. Page 538. This is chapter 10, geometry, measures and mensuration, and the volume. Now, the only difference, it's a hemisphere, a cylinder, but then it's also having this cone. So, but the principle stays the same. For the total volume, now we will just leave out the cone, but we will take the cylinder. So in this case, it's a cone, so it's a third, and they will also give you that formula. A cylinder they will not give you because it's area of base, which is a circle, times the height, it's a prism. Hemisphere they will give you, but it's a half. Do you see that half? And then it's basically just substitution all the way. Okay. And then after I did the substitution, I just want to see, did they give you the radius? They gave you the radius was 5. Okay, there. And then you just work it out. They didn't ask total surface area in that one. That's page 53A. That's part 2, textbook 2. So let's just go back to the question. It's basically a lot of substitution in the formulas. Okay. So we start here, and I'm just going to say, okay, so the volume or the total is going to be the hemisphere plus the cylinder. And that is going to be, the hemisphere is a half. There's the sphere. So it's 4/3. And then pi to the, they cannot see it so well, but it's a 3 to the power 3. A cylinder, they're not going to, its area of base, and the base is a circle. So the area of a circle is pi r squared times the height. That's the formula. I like to write it down so that I don't make mistakes. I can already simplify a little bit here by saying 2 can go in 1, 2 can go in 2, so it's 2/3. Otherwise, 4/6, what is 2/3? You can keep your pi, even on the calculator. The radius, there is the radius, it's 3 to the power of 3. Plus, keep your pi. I will even write the answer for you. I'll see if I can write it in terms of pi. If they were, no, they didn't do it in terms of pi. Okay, so it's fine. Okay, but the radius, what is the radius there again? 3 squared. What is the height? That is that one, 5. Now, you can press everything on the calculator. Okay, and then, but sometimes you make mistakes. So, if it's, then it's, what I did is I first pressed this and I got, but then I don't approximate. I got 56.548667776, don't approximate. And I got 141.371669.4. And can you remember they said first write down the full calculator display, and that was 197.9203372. But if I approximate it to 3 significant figures, that was a 9, then it was 198. Okay. Can I just read to you? They said B1, if you got that either this one or this one, they gave you 1 mark. Okay. So, and then they gave you a method mark for just substituting it in there. And then if you round it off to this 198. Okay, then they gave you a mark there. And that's how you do it. And it's really not so difficult. So it's basically knowing the formula, seeing the connection, substituting it, and work it out. Okay. And then the next one, it is given that P, this is a vector, this, if there's one column, it's a vector. As soon as they go to 2 columns, then it's the matrices. Then I'm at matrices. Okay. Now this one is first very, very easy. It's just addition, but I still take you to the textbook. It's question 31. And it's the same with matrices, the same principles. It's book 2. We are page 582. And basically we just substitute and we add the corresponding. So top plus top, simplify the bottom and just write the answer there. Okay, but let's go back to the question paper. Okay. And now I'm just going to say P plus Q. So P -1, 2 plus Q 3, 4. And basically it's just 3 minus 1, that's 2. Please don't make the division stripe. 4 plus 2, that's 6. Don't simplify also, it's a vector. So it's 2 and 6 and you get the 1 mark. Very easy. What does that mean? Magnitude. So let's just take you to the magnitude. And we're going to find that, 31 still. The second one. They love asking this. I saw it in the other question paper also. So you will find this on page 578. Just interesting. Here, the bars means magnitude. And in matrices, it means the determinant. Okay, I think we will do it either in this or paper 2, the determinant. But this, with vectors, it's magnitude, and it's meaning the length. So calculating, and it's working on Pythagoras' theorem. So it's very easy. So if you look at express, find the magnitude of the vector. So if it's AB, you just square that horizontal unit, square the vertical unit, and take the square root. As easy as that. Page 578, book 2, Mathematics, grade 10, 11, 12, y equals mx plus c. Okay, let's go to the question paper. As I said, not a difficult one, just recognize it. So, okay, I prefer just writing Q down so that you just have it here in front of you and don't do it with P, especially Q, P, N, N. Be careful not to get confused. So make sure they choose the correct one. So it's just squaring the top plus squaring the bottom. And that is going to be 9. Oh, it's so lovely. And that's 25. And the square root of 25 is going to be 5. Okay, so I know that that is going to be 5. I just checked, they gave you the unit there. So something that I may forgot, always the full calculator display. If there's no unit, just write your unit. Okay, something that I picked up they want you to do. Okay, that was vectors, but now this one is a bit more challenging. That was level 1, not so difficult. This one is a bit more difficult, and I want to take you first to the textbook B before I'm going to tackle this one. So I'm going to take you to the textbook. Now 31B. And this is on page, it's also book 2 or part 2, 589. And we are still at vectors, chapter 11. Okay. It's matrices, vectors, transformations. Okay, but I'm going to look at one like this, and I'm going to explain it thoroughly to you. I think I did it in the individual videos also, but let's just check it. And mark, and look at the way I'm saying things and helping you. I'm not going to do the whole question, but at least some of the question, just to get the idea. So in the diagram, BC is Q. Okay, so just take note, not the whole, only BC, that is Q. Okay. AP is R. Where is AP? That little part is R. Okay, so please don't make mistakes. Just check that. And I made it so long. I don't want to make it so long. Just that little bit. Okay. Now, they go. BD, and then I bring the statements in. BD, where is BD? BD is 2BC. Okay, that's enough to help us. Because if I know that BC is Q, I know that in this direction, this will also be Q. Okay, let's rather make it red. So if you can, fill in on your sketch. AC, where is AC? AC is 2 AM. I must just remember this. AC is 2 AM. I don't have it now. And AP, where is AP? Okay. AP is 3 times AB. AB is 3 times AP. But be careful, be careful. So if I'm saying this, and I showed you there, so it means that you can actually, it's not to say, but I think they will help you by making the picture looking a little bit realistic. So this is R and this. So AP is 3 R's. So meaning that this is R, but in total, this will be in this direction 3 R's. I think I showed you there. Okay, do you see that? QQ there. And then, did I say anything about this one? I just want to say, no, it's maybe coming in. Okay. Now they say express in the simplest form in terms of Q and R, CA. Now, CA. Now, if you look at CA there, and they want it in this direction. Now, it's like you must start where I start and you must end where but you must take a longer route and find first that route. So you're going to go from C to B, and then you're going to go from B to A. So first write down that. That's very important. So C to B, that's opposite direction. That's why it's minus Q. This is opposite direction. That's why it's negative 3R. Okay, then it's finished. And if you write it like this, usually it will be that in the second one, you will maybe use information from the first or from the top ones. Now, that is now for CA. Now, they say CM. Now, where is CM? CM. Okay. Now, they say AC, where is AC? AC is 2 AM. Oh, there I wrote it. This is why. This is why I was thinking, where did this come? But AC is 2, so it means this cut. They are equal. Okay. So AM is MC is a half of AC. So AM is the half of AC. That's correct. Now, CM is a half of CA. It's just in the opposite direction. Okay. Now, if I must find CM. Now remember what you have. You have CA. You have CA. So it's just the half of that. So it's just the half of this. You have CA, and this is what I was saying to you. Look up. A lot of time you already have. So you already have CA, and just basically substitute CA there to get CM. Okay. And that is the way, and it's not so difficult, the example that we're going to look at. But if you come, and I'm going to still do one. So DM. So let's just go to DM. Where is DM? DM. Okay. So DM, find your route. It's going to be D, C, CM. DC. You have DC. That's negative Q. Do you see there? You have CM. Just write it there. And now it's simple algebra. Just add your like terms. And you got that. Okay. And then MP, I think I'm going to just finish it. MP. Okay, where is M? MP. Again, just find the root that you have. You have, if I can show you, you have this one, this one, this one, this one. Just start where I start and end where I end. And just follow that route. So basically, if I must find, okay, MP, where am I? MP. It's DC. I think let's just look. Where am I now? DM. DM. Oh, I have. But this is DM. Okay, I was having DM. That was MP. MP. Let me just make it smaller because I'm losing some of my information. Okay. Just want to move it a bit. MP. Can I just show you? MP. This is the route I was showing you. And this is what I'm going to do there. So I said MP is MA. Oh, I'm taking this route. That is a shorter one. This one will also work. You can go and try it. But this is MA. I have MA because that's the half of CA, which I have there. So it's just the half of that one. And then AP, I have R. So there was a shorter route. And I just simplify again. And then the last one, write down the relationship between DM. Okay, let's just see. DM and MP. Now you just go and you take it out. You say DM, you say MP. There's DM. There's MP. Okay. You take out the common factor, you get that. You take out the common factor, and then as soon as you take out the common factor 3, you see that this is the same as this. And then you know it's 3 times. So dm, there am I, dm, I'm going to show you, dm is 3 times mp. Okay, so basically it's almost like it's cutting there. Now this is a far more difficult example than the one, but I wanted to go through it, and this is on page 589. Okay, let's go to the question paper again, which is not so difficult. Now, if you look at this one, it's going to be very easy, very easy. Okay, so let's start. They say in triangle ODE, let's look, I'm just going to mark as I go. ODE, OD, do you see that? OD is D, okay, it's D. OE, in this direction, and that's E, okay. F is a point on DE, such that DF, it's two-thirds of DE. Okay, I'll come now and I bring it in. Just going to not write it there down. Okay. Now, calculate in terms of the vector DE. Now, where is? Now, that is usually starting with an easy one. And please write it out. DE. That's my route. From D, I start there. To E, I end there. Find a route that's a longer one, but that you start where I start and you end where I end. So what will that be? That will be DO plus OE. So DO, now remember it's opposite direction. So it's negative D, okay? But OE is correct E. You can write it like this. I just prefer writing, so I will say DE, but it's not, I will say E minus D. But if you write this, I see even in the memo, they just write it like this. Now, the next one, position vectors. What is position vectors? It's vectors that starts from 0, from O. So that means OF. They want OF. Okay, OF. Now, if I want OF, I must first find DF. Now, where is D? DF. Okay, because I want OF. I must basically just first find this DF. Now let's start. I will now come, this is OF. Okay, can I maybe, I rather want to write it here. I'll show you where. I will now go and get OF because I know, let me write OF. I know that OF is going to be OD. Can I show you where? OF is going to be I want to take the pointer. It's going to be that. You start where I start, you end where I end. So you go this. So the one that I know I'm going to, it's OD plus DF. Now, the problem is not OD. I already know that one. I know that that is D. The problem is DF. Now, let's find DF because I have this clue. So, if I want to find DF, I'm just going to use that clue. It's 2/3 of DE. And now I look up. I have DE. So, it's 2/3 of either negative, you can say negative D plus E, which is negative 2/3 D plus 2/3 E. Okay, so OD, remember, is D, plus, now I put DF. Do you see there? I don't want to scratch DF. I put DF in here. So I put that in. So let's rather, I'm just going to put the positive first. 2/3 E minus 2/3 D. Now, see my like terms. Do you see this is like? This is 1. So 1 minus 2/3, what is that? It's, so what is OF? It's, remember, it's going to be 1/3 D, okay, plus 2/3 E. Okay, so I basically just go and I just add my like terms there and I just rewrite. And that's how you do it. So this is definitely not as difficult as the one I did in the textbook. Okay, and then the next one, if I read this, Jerry has a bag containing red, green, and orange balls. The table shows the probability. So I'm at probability of choosing a red or a green. So they give you the probabilities. They ask you orange. Now, it's a very simple page. I'm taking you to the textbook. But I want you to take you to this page at the textbook. Okay. The thing about probability is always a number from 0 to 1. So if it's impossible, it's 0. If it's a certainty, it's 1. It cannot be bigger than 1. It can be any fraction in between. But the beginning is 0 and the end is 1. And that certainty I'm going to work with. This was on page 6 to 7. And this is probability, and this is book 2. Okay. So, and this was the last chapter, chapter 12. So let's go to the question paper. So if we go to the question paper, here it will be, and we move it up. Okay. Meaning that if I add all this, I must get a 1. So then I can basically just take my calculator and I take 1 and I subtract 0.3 and I subtract 0.25 and I get 0.45. Okay, 0.45. If you were writing a 9 over 20 or 45%, they also marked it correct. I maybe forgot. No, sorry, I don't like going back. But I just wanted to say in this question, if you just came to this one, and I just want to make double sure, 31B, they were saying M1, if you were just getting this, either coming to this step, okay, yes, at least coming to this step, they would have gave, and then simplified to the final. Okay. Now, this one. Find the probability that Jerry chooses a ball that is not orange. So it's basically, if you could not get that one, you could have get this one because it's this one plus this one. Otherwise, you say, now I want to take you just, again, it's very simple, but it's just taking you to the textbook and it's taking you to page 6 to 9 and it's example 32. Okay, it's that not. So basically what you could have done there, you could have said, okay, so let me just, it's 1 minus that probability. So if you just go there and you say on a roulette wheel, the bro is getting 21 is 1 over 36. What is the probability of not getting 21? So if it's 1 over 36, then 1 minus 1 over 36, and that's 35 over 36. Can I just show you? That's page 6 to 9. So let's just go to the question paper. It's not that one, this one. Okay, so you can either just add up that 2, as I said, or you could have said probability not orange is 1 minus 0.45, and that's 0.55. Okay, 0.55. But if you say this plus this, you would have also get 0.55. And again, getting the correct answer is, but they said you could have also, they also accepted 55% and also 11 out of 20. That they also took that as correct. And this is the last question of this question paper. Question 33. The mass of each 200 tea bags was checked by an inspector in a Windhoek factory. The results are shown by the cumulative frequency curve. So I'm at cumulative frequency. Now I first want to take you to that. They give you the graph. It's actually very nice and you must just work from the graph. So let's just go to cumulative frequency. And if I look here, it's 33. I'm just going to very quickly refresh your memory. So this is page 685. It's also part 2, book 2, and it's statistics, and it's cumulative, example 33. So it's just, okay, now in this case, you had to draw that, and you had to, so A and B is done for you. That is just asking you to find the median, just C. So how do I find the median? It's a half of the total frequency. So that will be a half, which is 100, but you go on the cumulative, that's not the answer. Then you draw to the graph, and where it intersects, you draw it down and you read down your median, Q2. And then the upper and the lower quartiles, so you do exactly the same. For the upper 3/4 of the total frequency there, and you draw it down and you read down Q3. Okay, there is Q3. And then the lower, it's going to be Q1. So it's going to be there at a quarter of the total frequency. So it's at 50, and you draw and you read down. There is Q1, 50. And then as soon as you must find the interquartile range, it's basically Q3 minus Q1. So it means the upper minus the lower. You just take this one minus this one, and there is your answer. And that's basically what they ask. So page 685 in the textbook part 2 will help you. Let's go and do it. Okay, so here it is. They gave you the graph. Now it's just sometimes, and they give, because it's very difficult. Sometimes the lines move a little bit, and I think a little bit it moved here, but they made provision in the answers for that. Okay, so they say use the cumulative frequency curve to find the median. So if you're going to find the median, I'm just going to make it a bit smaller. I'll make it bigger again. But what is the total frequency? Just go there. The total frequency is that 200. So the median is going to be a half, or 2/4 multiplied 200. And that is going to be 100. And actually it's very nice, because if you look on the graph, you see there at the 100, I want to make it red. There at the 100, and then you move it down. Okay, now this is my problem. It was a little bit, as I said, for me it looks like the graph, and I know it happens, moved a little bit, but I'll make it bigger. So it is actually up to there almost now, a bit inner. And I must just get the line there. Go a bit inner, still a bit inner. There. Now, the problem in this graph was this scale. It was easy, but the scale was not so easy. So can I just show you the scale? So in the scale, take that and that, and there's 10 blocks. So, and 3.2 minus 2, so it's 0.2 divide 10. So every block is basically counting 0.02. So I go in multiples of 0. So the first is 0.02, then it's 0. Okay, so if it's there, so the first one will be 3.02. The next block will be 3.04. The next one will be 3.06. That made it very difficult. So it's one away. So it's almost like you can say here, it was the 3.4 minus that one block, 0.02. And I got 3.38. But because that line was maybe a little bit to this side, they accept if you had answers. And I want to write it. My answer was now 3.38. But they accept 3.37 to 3.38. Due to that line, I think it was supposed to cross on that intersection. But it's difficult when it's coming to construction. And then they will just make provision. The interquartile range. Now don't forget the interquartile range. I must find Q1. I must find Q2. So Q1 is a quarter of that total frequency, which is going to be 50. I read it down there. Then Q3, sorry. Q2 I have. This is Q2, the median. 3/4 of that total frequency. And that's one. And that's the places where I read it. So I'm going to go back to the graph, and I'm going to go 50. Okay. And I want a nice pen, and I want a nice color. And on that, as if it cuts, just go down. Okay. And again, now this is 3.22, Okay, let's just start. This one, because it's going to be there, okay, so this is 3.22, this is 3.24. So I get this is now, I just want to get my pen right, 3 point, that's my answer. But I see, and I'm going to just put this in brackets that you don't get confused. Sorry. That was all part of that one. They accept if you were writing 3.24 to 3.26, if you read it down. Now, 150. Let's do the same at 150. Again, with my ruler, use your ruler. When it intersect, I just go down. And again, this was 3.5. There, that one. So then if this is 3.5, then it's 3.5 plus 0.02. So it's 3.52. Do you see that? 3.52. So the scale was difficult, yes. So this was 3.52. And again, they accept if you had 3.51 to 3.52 due to that line that, according to me, was moving a little bit. And then, as long as you take your answer, this is now my answers. So to find that interquartile range, it is Q3 minus Q1, and that is 3.52 minus 3.24, and my answer is 0.28. But they accept if yours was 0.25, it's actually a lot, 0.29. They accept anything between that. But that was my answers. Not very difficult. Okay, very basic, and especially if they give you the graph. Just make sure with your ruler, sharp pencil, that you read down the values correct.